Okay, so we're going to start looking at parallelograms as part of our unit on quadrilaterals. And so let's first establish what is a parallelogram. Well, a parallelogram, I'm going to crudely draw here, just some of you may know, looks like this. So it has four sides, so a quadrilateral, and it has two pairs of parallel sides. So that means that this set of sides is parallel and this set of sides is parallel. Two pairs of parallel sides. So a lot of us know that, and that's perfect. But we want to look at 6 key traits. So what's going to happen is a lot of questions on the SAT, the ACT, they'll ask you questions about parallelograms that involve some of these traits that aren't as well known as just the basic definition of a parallelogram. So the first key trait is that opposite sides are congruent. So we know that the opposite sides are parallel, but now they are the same measurement, the same distance. So that's important. Also, the opposite angles are congruent. So if I have a parallelogram, it's the best I can do. Let's say that this is 50 degrees, then this is 50 degrees. If this is 130 degrees, then that's 130 degrees. Well, don't forget that these are all parallel lines. So when we have a transversal cutting through parallel lines, we have consecutive interior angles. And in that case, consecutive angles are supplementary. So that's going to be an important characteristic, an important trait for our parallelograms. So there's 6 key traits. Oh. Yes, right. This is kind of a simple one. If one angle is 90 degrees, then all 4 are, right? Because following those two rules about your opposite angles being congruent and consecutive angles being supplementary, if this is 90, this is 90, this is 90, this is 90, they all must be 90. That just makes it a rectangle. So don't forget that you can have a parallelogram that is a rectangle. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Rectangles are just a special type of parallelogram. Number 5 is that the diagonals bisect each other. So diagonal is a line that connects opposite vertices. So this is equal to this, and this is equal to that. Also, looking at those diagonals, the diagonals cut parallelogram into 2 congruent triangles. So if you think about it, we have side, side, side. We have 2 congruent triangles there. We could prove that, but we don't need to. This is a nice key trait. It's a definition. Somebody else already proved it for us, so we don't need to do that. So these are 6 key traits, and we're going to be using these to solve different equations. So here are some problems that if I have t is 135, what's angle r? Well, that's also 135 because opposite angles are congruent. Here in number 2, D is going to be 110 degrees because consecutive angles are supplementary. Same with number 3, V will be 100 degrees. And in number 4, L would be 98 degrees. Here we work with diagonals. So if we know that RT is 19.8, well, because this is part of a diagonal that's being intersected by another diagonal, that means that this diagonal here must be the same distance. So RP would be the sum of those two, which would be 39.6. Now for number 8, if this is equal to 60, then this angle must be supplementary. So this is 60. So then this angle must be 120 degrees. So that means that 52 plus that unknown portion, which we can call x, is 120. So x is equal to 68 degrees. In number 9, km is 23.4, and ym must be half of that. So that's going to be 11.7. Right? Because if this is 11.7, this is 11.7. You add the two together to get 23.4. Likewise, this is 55. So then this must be 180 minus 55, which is 125. So then 62 plus that unknown angle is 125. As he writes a 6, 125. So x is equal to 63. We can also throw in some algebraic expressions. So here, 80 plus 11x minus 10 is equal to 180. So if we subtract 80 from both sides and add 10, we get 11x is equal to 10. 110. So x is equal to 10. For number 12, opposite sides here, so they must be congruent. So 2x plus 15 equals x plus 15. If I subtract 15 from both sides, I get 2x is equal to x. If I subtract x, I get x is equal to 0. That's okay. So here, these two angles are supplementary, so we get 9x plus 15 plus 6x plus 15 equals 180. So 15x plus 30 equals 180. So 15x is equal to 150. So x is equal to 10. And here, 35 plus 14x plus 5 is equal to 180. So we're going to get 14x is equal to 140. So x is equal to 10. So a lot of 10s and a 0. So that's pretty much it, but there are a lot of different types of application questions for these. So make sure that as you go through these problems, you know these 6 key traits. These are crucial to solving these types of problems.